Te Paco o te Ungifari Tupuna. Tēnā koutou katoa.
Now, think of how Prince Harry had to stress over getting all that pronunciation right, doing that, representing his country, all that sort of thing. We're talking about stress, we're talking about stress in young people, big response to exams and pressure this morning. The charity Childline has warned that the number of children now complaining about suffering from stress because of exams has trebled in the past year. Alex Gray is the Childline supervisor at the NSPCC, and he joins us now. Alex, do you know what? If this is so bad, if this is so awful, this is absolutely shocking, and surely something has got to be done about it. Or have we all just got too soft about this?
I think what we're hearing from young people is that this has a big impact on them, so I don't think it's about being too soft on this. I think the opposite is true, in fact. We put young people under a lot of pressure to achieve in exams at all ages. You know, we're hearing from young people as young as 11 being stressed about exams to get into the right schools,
yes,
etc.
But it's, Alex, can I put it to you, my friend? It hasn't changed. It's always been that way. So what I'm saying is, if this is in some way worse, what are you going to do about it? You just can't keep having an approach saying, well, Cyril, that's really awful, that's terrible, pat you in the head, have a sweetie, it's all going to be okay. What can you actually do about it with the system?
Sure, Eamon. I mean, the good news about this story is that things can actually be done. So what we are seeing today is that schools need to be much better at supporting young people, so having that well-being responsibility as well as academic achievement. Parents can also play their part. Childline and other organisations like us can play our part in supporting them, and young people themselves too, not putting themselves under so much pressure.
What progress do you make in all of this, Alex? Because there's a lot to consider there, and I would imagine that it may well fall upon deaf ears. I mean, if you go along to the Department of Education and say, this is terrible, what youngsters are going through, they're hardly going to say, well, let's all make the exams softer, let's give them, easier types of way of marking them. What happens?
Well, there are really quite straightforward steps, actually, that young people themselves can take. So at Childline, we speak to young people in ways that they can empower themselves. So, for example, it's really simple things such as ensuring they're taking regular breaks from their study, ensuring that they are hydrated, which helps concentration, revision, that type of thing, and also speaking to someone. So identifying who is that person who can support you. Is it a teacher? Is it Childline? Is it a parent? And also seeking advice. So, for example, on childline.org.uk, our website, we have a specific page on beating exam stress. We encourage young people to have a look at that.
I've got a tip to beat exam stress, and I mean, I suffer from exam stress myself, but I know why I suffered from exam stress myself, because I didn't do my revision. So why not just put top of the tip, do your work, and you'll be less stressed?
Yeah, absolutely. Do the work, and revision is important. We're not saying that all the pressure should be taken off young people. Revision is important, but it's important that that's done in the right way and in a safe environment. We're hearing from young people that this has a big impact. So, for example, this in some young people is leading to things like self-harm, suicidal thoughts, anxiety attacks, these types of things. And it's at that level that we want to intervene and make sure that young people are getting the support that they need.
Alex, we're just feeding you back now some comments that people are getting in touch with us about today.
Yeah, I mean, I have to say, overwhelmingly negative. And before I read out the tweets, I should point out, both Eamon and I can relate to this. You had corporal punishment at your school, didn't you? I certainly felt exam pressure. That said, people on Twitter saying, our Childline for real. Today's kids need to get real. This is not pressure. Kids today are simply too mollycoddled. There isn't much sympathy for this story, I have to say, certainly on social media this morning.
Well, actually, I would disagree with that. I've got everybody saying that this is terrible, this is shocking. People should give us the answers, all sorts of things. People tend to be softer. I would say to this day, I wake up. How old am I? 32, 33? And I wake up in a sweat sometimes, Alex, at night, and I think, I haven't revised for my Latin exam, which was absolutely true, incidentally.
Yeah, well, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, you are too old to be calling Childline. We speak to young people up to the age of 19. But yeah, I mean, I think the thing to remember is this is having a big impact on young people. So, I mean, people can have the argument whether we're too soft or not, but let's look at the outcomes for young people. We want children, young people, to do well in school. We want them to achieve. And what we're asking today is, are we doing that in the best way? Our opinion is that a lot of the time, no, we're not, and that there can be a lot more support for young people.
Okay, Alex, you'll get everybody talking. Thank you very much indeed. Alex Gray is from, he's the Childline Supervisor at the NSPCC. Front pages, Isabel, let's get into those.
Yeah, let's take a look at them. The public